All right, here we are. It's Fantasy Football Now on Fantasy Sports, powered by DSP Media. I'm Tito, Jeff Goodall, at That Happens on the X. He is Chad Rink, at Chad Ocho Rinko on the X. You can follow us, the app. Download the app. It's a free app for Apple and Android users for Fantasy Sports. Round-the-clock programming on the go. Go check that out. The website, fantasysports.com. Facebook group, also Fantasy Sports Facebook group. Interact with some of the hosts and other fans. We have so much great content, though, constantly being updated, though, from our stable of hosts that we have in different shows, different blitzes, different longer-form shows, all of that. So make sure you check it out. Rink, how the hell are you, my friend?
Outstanding.
You are today.
Yes, I am.
You're back to being a Bears fan.
Yeah, I was always a Bears fan. It's just not as mad of a Bears fan. So that was a good win for us. Field looked good.
Yeah.
Defense. I mean, the offense line looked good. Everything looked good last night. I know it was Washington on a short week. Mm-hmm. I was a little, with Denver, you're like, okay, it's Denver. Denver's not great, but people want to say Washington's not great, but Washington took Philly to overtime in Philly. Yeah. So I know it was a short week, but Fields just looks different these last two games. So it looks like he's feeling confident. And it just seemed to be clicking. So second half was a little bit rough there till the end. I don't know what was going on. I think Washington came out wanting to play, but they pulled the win out.
Bears aren't used to playing with a lead. That's a big part of it. That's kind of new territory for them.
Probably, yeah.
You got to start with talking about DJ Moore, Fields, and Sam Howell, because if you had those guys in your lineup, you are way ahead of your opponent going into the weekend. If you have DJ Moore, you are just sitting back coasting right now. I don't think in all leagues I'm in, I think I went against DJ Moore in one league. In one league, I had DJ Moore. Okay. And it's just like the one who I go against him, my team's toast. There's no chance I can come back, barring some miraculous injury to their team and a DJ Moore type game on my guys. And the way I look at it, the other one where I had DJ Moore in the lineup, such a huge lead. But, Fields becomes the first Bears quarterback since the merger to throw for at least 3 touchdowns and a half in consecutive weeks or twice the same, whatever it was. I don't know what that's some ridiculous number, though, with what Fields can do. And he only completed passes to 3 receivers. That was it. Yeah. It's not like he spread around a lot. There were 3 guys that caught the passes, but the 4 touchdown passes for him. But obviously, DJ Moore was the one who benefited most from that. Sam Howell looked good, too, though. Put up decent numbers as well. 2 guys, I don't know if you would have started them coming into the week. I don't know if I would have recommended you starting them coming into this week, but they both played damn well. Yeah, and
with Fields, I think it was Moore had 230 of the 280, so he had the majority of them. But yeah, in our other league, I have Fields. I have Fields. Did I have Fields, Herbert, and Moore?
Okay.
Don't I have? Yeah, I had Field, Herberts, and Moore, and I'm up. I got 95.58 points so far in that league. Yeah. Another league I've got Moore and Fields in my Cincinnati league, which is just total points, which is helping me. It's not head to head. And then another league I picked up Howell and started him because I had Geno as my quarterback, and I have DJ Moore in that league. So it's been a good big Thursday for me. But yeah, it's one of those things. I tweeted out that hopefully the Caleb Williams to the Bears talk is stopping right now. Because I saw another stat too, Fields is only the 4th player within his first 30 or 31 games to have 5,000 yards passing and 1,500 yards rushing. And it's Vic, Lamar, Hurts. So
elite company.
Yeah. And I'm just, he can do it. It's just, and then I saw another stat too, where it's the Bears D has just been bad. They've given up in that 14 game losing streak. I think they've given up on an average 33 points a game. And they said if the Chiefs during that same streak gave up 33 points, the Chiefs would be 2-12. So there's a lot of stuff in Chicago to fix, but Fields is not one of them. So hopefully the momentum comes to get 10 days off. We got some running backs that are banged up. And I think our next few games,
it's winnable.
Much, they are. They're winnable. So we'll see if the momentum sticks. And like I said, I'm happy with it. So Let's just stick with Fields. I was looking at who the number one quarterbacks from like 1980 were, and it's still like about a 50%, 60% hit rate. If you go from like 2010, it's like about a 30. It's like 3.5 of the quarterbacks that were drafted number one overall. You'd say, okay, that was good because
you're right. Yeah,
no, it's not. So like we don't know
what Sam Bradford's out there.
Yep, we don't know what Caleb Williams is going to be. So like, why mess with that?
Rashawn Johnson left with concussion. I'm getting less and less confident on his impact for the season. Herbert, 10 carries, 76 yards again. A couple weeks ago, Chad, even a week ago, we sat here and we both discussed how we like Rashawn Johnson's upside, but Herbert's going to make it hard for him to take a lot of carries. With how well Herbert looked, and if Johnson misses any time, that just gives Herbert more of a chance to put a bigger stranglehold on this. And you looked at it yesterday, the running game, even when Johnson was healthy, the running game was still Herbert and Fields.
Yeah, so it was interesting because last week I thought Johnson was going to take that leap, and he didn't. It was just all Herbert. Herbert looked good. This week it looked like Herbert had the first two series, and then Johnson got 3 carries for 19 yards in that third series, and then he got that concussion. The thing, though, is Herbert had a weird – he went to go back on a catch, and he had his leg go up from underneath him, and it looked like he had an ankle. They took him in, taped him up. He came out for one play, tried to make a cut, and he kind of fell, and he shook his head, and he went off. So I don't know what his injury is going to be.
Right.
And depending on how serious that concussion is, with 10 days off, it helps, but I wouldn't be surprised if Roshan missed 1. I doubt he would miss 2, but you never know with concussions. But if Herbert's ankle, I'm guessing it's an ankle, is pretty severe, he could miss a couple games as well.
For Washington, Logan Thomas, 9 catches, 77 yards and a touchdown. Curtis Samuel had a touchdown. He's got 13 receptions the last 2 games. But I saw this stat. I can't remember where I heard it, but then I couldn't find it again, so I had to go look it up, and I actually went through the play-by-play from the game. But there were 49 consecutive pass plays called by Washington. Brian Robinson had a 1-yard carry, just under 10 minutes left the second quarter. And there were some running plays. They weren't like designed runs, though. They were Howell getting flushed out of the pocket or whatever, but there were 49 straight plays. Dude, it's like when we were 11 or 12 years old playing football on the video game where you pick the bomb or the same play every single time. 49 consecutive pass plays. That's amazing.
Yeah, and it sucked because I did a solo and then I did a 20 DFS, and I went all – I didn't do a DJ Moore. I kind of faded DJ Moore, which sucked for DFS.
Smart. Right.
But it was one of those things. I'm like, listen, I'm going to go like the 20 entry. I went 15 with Robinson as the captain, and then I did 5 with the Fields. But yeah, it was just weird the way the game was. They just had to go away from the run. And he wasn't on the field very much. Like Gibson was more their pass guy. Right. It was just weird because they got down so much. They just really couldn't establish the run, and I didn't realize it was that many. But I remember watching that game going, "They're all done because they're not going to run." And it was such a weird thing too. What they had, McLaurin was out there, but then Samuel and they should have Dotson out there, but who was like Brown was out there. It was just some weird combinations that McLaurin wasn't getting targeted a lot. Right. In that. And, it's not like the Bears have a good secondary. So it's just weird. But, yeah, Howell, go back to him, too. He looked good. He stayed strong in the pocket. He made some nice, tough runs and stuff. Yeah. So, I think he's got some growing pains. But I think if you're a Washington fan, you got to be kind of happy. Like, we may have a guy.
It's the first week of buys this week in the NFL. And we have an early game in London. There's a lot of things a lot of moving parts to that. And a great host would already have the buys in front of him, and he doesn't. I know that the Browns are off. I know the Seahawks are off. Buccaneers and Chargers. They're off the top of my head.
There you go.
Nailed it. Pro.
Nailed it.
So obviously there's some guys in there with Herbert, Keenan Allen. We knew that Eckler wasn't playing, whatever. But you're losing. Mike Evans is hurt anyway. Curtis Godwin, the Seahawks with their wide receivers, and Geno Smith, and also what we saw Kenneth Walker lately. So there's a lot of guys. The Browns, who the hell cares? But so there's a lot of guys you got to account for, and so make sure in your line if you've got that taken care of, and also understand there's the game in London again. Buffalo is the home team, even though Jacksonville has been there now for 2 weeks. The first team to play 2 straight games overseas. They stuck around there, and they are now playing. So in that game, we'll start with that one first, just because Von Miller might be back for Buffalo. And I'm having a hard time getting a read on Trevor Lawrence and Calvin Ridley going into that game. Buffalo's they've got a good defense, but they can give up a lot of points. They can give up some points there as well. But I still think Lawrence is a top 10 quarterback this week. Do you?
Yeah, because I believe Tre'Davious White is done for the year.
Right.
So he'd be the guy covering Ridley. So I think, too, with Buffalo having to travel, Jacksonville's already there, playing already a game there, so they're used to it. But, yeah, I think Buffalo's D's good, but I think that they've shown they can give up some points. So I don't mind the Jacksonville passing attack. And Etienne's always a guy I think you're going to have to start him, too. But I also like the Buffalo side of things as well. I mean, Diggs went off last week. Allen's Allen. I still like James Cook with his usage. So I do like that game. I think that can be a high-scoring game, unlike the one last week with Atlanta, where Jacksonville just kind of rolled them. So I do like both sides of it. And just like I said, I don't mind playing those guys just to make sure if you have, obviously Allen's going to be starting for you, I would imagine. But like if you're having I don't know if I'm at Lawrence, I don't know if I'm going to start these guys from Jacksonville or even Buffalo side, like a Gabe Davis or something. Make sure you get him in Saturday night or get up early Sunday because you may miss out on that.
Cooper Kupp is back for the Rams. It looks like, barring any kind of setback, he's going to make his debut. And the last time we saw Cooper Kupp, he was an elite fantasy football wide receiver. A lot's happened since then. Obviously, the emergence of Tutu Atwell and Puka. I don't know how we're going to pronounce his last name anymore, but the Puka kid. Do you think that the Rams receivers have been excelling, are going to take a huge step back with Kupp back in the mix for them or not?
I think maybe. I don't know what kind of – I doubt they give Kupp a full run. I know they're talking if Kupp's ready that he's going to play, but I doubt they're going to put him out for the full run. It's just going to be interesting to see how that – because Kupp's going to go back to his role, which is what Nakua's been at.
Right.
I just don't know if they move Nakua, if they leave Atwell where he is, and then Van Jefferson. I think Van Jefferson's just done.
He's the odd man out, yeah.
Yeah, he is. He just, these two guys come in. So I think it's just going to be interesting to see what Stafford does, because Stafford's always seemed to be a guy, he just locks in on that wide receiver one.
Right.
But now, and then I don't know if Nakua can, his skill set and Kupp's, if they're the exact same. I don't know if, Nakua then can do some things differently. So, if you have Kupp, if you don't need to start him, I probably wouldn't. But I think the Rams are just going to pass a ton in this game because the Philly
they're hosting Philly.
Run. Yeah, so I don't mind starting him, but just temper expectations with him. If you have Nakua, I think you still have to start him because I think if Kupp's off the field, Nakua's probably going to have the most snaps. Right. So I still trust it. I still trust Stafford. Like I said, they can pass. I think like Hal threw for 300 yards on Philly.
Yep.
And someone else had another decent game throwing on Philly this year, and it wasn't like some stud quarterback. So I think Stafford can get it done. Stafford could probably throw for 300. So I do like the three of them. It just with Kupp, you just hope he finds the end zone because I don't think he's going to be getting his 10, 15 targets.
Stafford or Trevor Lawrence this week?
That's a tough one.
I think it is too.
Yeah. I don't know, man. I just they're both playing good Ds. I think probably I'd go Lawrence, but I think
I would too. And I don't know if I'm just shitting on Stafford because he's old and always hurt. But you got Stafford at decent numbers, and now he's bringing his favorite receiver back. And I'm still saying Trevor Lawrence in London.
Yeah,
where they're playing over there.
Yeah.
Okay, another guy who's back, Jimmy Garoppolo. It looks like a lot less exciting than Cooper Kupp being there. But I don't know if this. I mean, look, they had the rookie there from Purdue, Aiden O'Connell played. It didn't play well. Played like a rookie. Garoppolo, though, coming back certainly helps Devontae Adams' value, I have to believe.
Yep.
So he'll be back, it looks like. Kenny Pickett expected to start, so what, for Pittsburgh? A couple running backs we're unsure on, and I'm curious to get your take on these because Saquon Barkley's list is questionable. So was Jonathan Taylor. Taylor says obviously non-injury related because he's coming back. Taylor came out and said this week that he is full go. I'm not here. I'm not trying to just I'm not half-assing anything. I'm here and I'm going to play my heart out and play hard no matter what. the contract thing is something we'll deal with in the offseason. We know he still wants to get traded. But for those of us that took Jonathan Taylor in drafts after the news came out that he wanted to trade and all stuff to go sit out, when he plummeted, much like the people who waited on Cooper Kupp after the injury was announced, same thing with Jonathan Taylor. If you drafted him, now you're reaping the benefits of it. Do you think that, okay, let's start first with the Barkley situation with the Giants. They are playing at Miami, a game which I think we both expect Miami to blow them out. Giants can't protect Daniel Jones. It could be ugly again. So if they say Barkley's probably playing, let's say Barkley's playing, is he automatically startable this week? I'm not sure he is.
I think I would, just because you look at what I still look back what the Chargers did week 1 running against the Dolphins. And I think you have Barkley, you play him, because I just, it's one of those things where I don't think they're going to limit him. If he's back, he's going to play, I think, the majority of snaps, because Matt Breida is not it. So you just hope that, okay, he's healthy. That deep, I know they're going to be down, but Barkley's still in the passing game and stuff. So I think he could rack up some cheap, kind of like what Gibson did yesterday, just in these like dump passes late in games and stuff like that. So I think if Barkley's playing, I think you start him, because that's why you drafted him, unless you just happen to like luck into having like Achan and some other guys that you don't have to, but with some of the bye weeks, I think Barkley is must play if he starts.
I'd be scared to death to start him this week. Because I could envision a 28-0 lead in the second quarter by Miami, and the Giants saying, you know what, let's just shut it down. There's no use playing him right now. That's my fear on that one.
Yeah.
Jonathan Taylor, though, okay, let's say Taylor does play. How many touches do you think he gets?
I think they probably split 50-50 with Moss. I don't think Moss is going away. I don't think they just go ahead and hand it back to Taylor, because of all the stuff that went on beforehand. I don't think if none of that stuff was going on before the season started, then I think Jonathan Taylor comes in, takes over, and he's the guy. I think they're gonna play them both. So I think it's a 50-50 split. Taylor's, I think if they're both starting, I think I'd rather take the chance on Barkley than Taylor.
See, I think I'd go the other way. Indianapolis, this week they're hosting Tennessee. I know shuts the running game down.
They do.
Running game down a lot. But I can't trust that Giants offensive line at all.
Yeah, I mean, yeah.
Amon-Ra St. Brown likely out, abdomen injury. Jameson Williams still listed as questionable. Again, non-injury related, but questionable because he's just come off the suspension for gambling. But, James Williams got a lot of hype for a guy who's only had 2 touches in his career. Right? That's all he's had. And I did hear one draft expert, I don't know on the Dan Patrick show or someone was listening to, but they said that if Jameson Williams hadn't got hurt in the playoffs, it was last year in college, he would have been the first receiver taken over Olave and Garrett Wilson, which is amazing to think about that. And now he's had 2 touches in his career so far. But Jahmyr Gibbs also questionable with the hamstring. So that's a couple of big pieces. Amon-Ra St. Brown and Gibbs, if they both miss, and Brown is going to miss, Gibbs is questionable. But is Jameson Williams due for a big debut?
He might be, because I think Josh Reynolds is questionable. I don't know how close he is to playing. So, I mean, if the 3 of them miss, even if Gibbs plays, I think if St. Brown and Reynolds miss, then yeah, I think so. But St. Brown miss, I think he can be. He has scored on half of his career touches.
That's
though,
good.
too.
You're right. Fair enough. Give him 10 touches, he gets 5 touchdowns.
Yeah. The thing with him is I think he's more of that field stretcher. So he's probably at the most maybe 4 or 5 targets, I would think. I think if the guy that's going to benefit the most is Sam Laporta this week. I think Sam Laporta could have a huge day. And again, even Montgomery still too, because they should roll the Panthers. So they may do the same thing again if they get up 15 or whatever. They just start running the ball with Montgomery again. So but I like Williams long term. I just think I don't know what type of snaps, if he and Goff have gotten on the same page, and that kind of thing. So I probably wouldn't start him this week, but I would hold him or even try to trade for him like now or even after this week. 'Cause I don't think he's going to have a huge week, although he could have. That's the thing, though. He could have 2 50+ touchdowns.
Yeah.
He have 2 catches and he have 100 yards. He had that one that Marvin Mims stat line from earlier this year.
Yeah.
So, but that's just kind of those weird ones, like, I don't know, but I think long term he could be something for him.
So earlier in the week I was not going to start Jameson Williams. Then after the Amon-Ra St. Brown news comes down, now I see Williams as possible flex play as a desperation Hail Mary type thing, especially if you've gone against those three players you mentioned earlier, Sam Howell and Justin Fields. And who am I forgetting? The wide receiver, DJ Moore. So you may want to do it in that situation, but it's an interesting game from the Lions' perspective because they have this is one of those games where they really need to win. You're missing, especially because your best guy. You're at home. You're a double-digit favorite, I think, against Carolina. You should dominate this game. The defense should do enough to make it an easy game. But it'll be interesting to see how the team responds with some of these key offensive players out. Treylon Burks out, it looks like, for Tennessee in their game against Indy, for what that's worth. But keep an eye on all the injury updates as you get closer to it. And again, don't forget about the game on Sunday morning. I wanted to ask you about this. In a weird situation, that's a couple of asked me questions about this. And it's really going to focus on one game here. But you got Dallas and San Francisco. Both defenses have done very well this year. Both offenses have done very well this year. When you're looking at whether to start or if you have an option on this, do you feel confident starting San Francisco or Dallas's defense? And does it affect how you view some of their fringe starters on offense?
I think it's all with a matchup too. I have no problem starting either. Especially the Niners defense. Dak Prescott does not like to handle the ball very well, and he's prone to turnovers. So I can see that defense getting in him. He could throw a couple picks. I think the Niners offense is better than Dallas's offense too. So I think the Niners can move the ball, control the ball, and get up, and then making Dallas throw. And that's going to just help the defense as well. I still think Dallas defense has looked so good.
Big plays.
And I'm telling you, we are, and it could be this week. I think Dallas wins this game. I think this is the week that we see Brock Purdy not just I think he's got to have an implosion week. I think at some point, and I think this could be it, even though they're at home. But I have no problem like Pollard, Lamb. I think Prescott's one, maybe if you don't have to, but even if they weren't playing San Francisco, he's been kind of shaky this year. I think with the Niners, I think you're playing all their skill guys. The thing is weird with Kittle. If Ayuk and Samuel are there, then Kittle doesn't, and McCaffrey. Kittle just is kind of like the last guy, so he's not a must play. But I do like Samuel, Ayuk, McCaffrey. In this, even against a tough defense.
That's weird about this one too, is because Dallas's defense, they score touchdowns. I mean, they're a big play defense, and no one can stop Micah Parsons. So you gotta figure. I mean, if you look at all the teams that have a chance for their defense to score touchdowns, the Cowboys might be the best chance, even though they're going against a great offense that's at least well-oiled machine in San Francisco. And you're predicting kind of a market correction type of thing for Brock Purdy, and I could see that as well. It's a weird thing for me because I'm in situations in some leagues where I do have San Francisco's defense, where I do have Dallas's defense, and I've got options to stream and grab someone else just for this week. Yeah. And that's where, in my head, Chad, I get all mixed up with things because it's I think Pollard has a big game, but I also think San Francisco's defense is great.
Right.
I think CMC has a big game. But my God, I think Dallas' defense is going to cause problems for Purdy. There's all these things that go on where I'm trying to think about it, and it's almost like, what the hell with it? Just play your stars, play your stud defenses, and let it go.
Well, that's just it. I think streaming is not bad. If you've got teams that just aren't elite like that, then you can stream because I had Pittsburgh in a league and I dropped them. I can't remember who I picked up. I think the Jets might have been there or something like that. So pick them up because Pittsburgh, as good as they are, I can probably pick them up later. If you drop, unless you happen to have a spot where you can hold two defenses for a week, then you do that. But you're not dropping San Francisco and Dallas, and most benches are probably not big enough for you to be able to drop a player to hold a defense just because you think Detroit's defense this week's going to be better. So I think you still roll with Dallas, San Francisco defense, even if they're playing the better offenses.
Okay, let's say I tell you can pick up I'm going to give you an option. Let's say you've got an empty spot on your bench. Somebody you can cut, you can do whatever. And I'm telling you right now, you can either start Dallas's defense or pick up Arizona hosting Cincinnati. What do you do?
I'm going Dallas. This could be.
You're going Dallas.
I think this could be a Cincinnati correction too.
Right.
Even with Higgins out, I do like that Io Selva guy, that rookie guy.
Right.
Because here's the thing. I think everyone's all going on Tyler Boyd.
I think this because Tyler Boyd, the guy I went after. But go ahead.
Exactly. No, but so Arizona's not good. Like, their defense isn't good. I mean, I think this could be a high-scoring game. But the thing is, people are going after Boyd, but Boyd's going to still play his role, and I think they slide that rookie in to play Higgins' spot, and he looked good in the preseason. That was even without Burrow there. He's more of a speed guy, so I think that's what they do. So he could be a sneaky one, but I would still Dallas at the Arizona is going to probably give up 30 points.
Let me throw no. Actually, we'll pick another one here. How about New Orleans defense hosted or at New England, or San Francisco's defense?
I might take a chance on New Orleans just because I think that game is gonna. I don't think either team gets a 20.
13-10 kind of game, yeah.
Yeah, and Mac Jones is Mac Jones. I think Belichick is probably going to try to run the ball more on him. I think the Saints are probably going to try to run the ball more. So I don't mind New Orleans. I would take New Orleans over Dallas.
Okay.
I don't know about San Francisco. I just think Prescott, can throw a couple picks. I think, they could maybe get in that the offensive line hasn't looked good. So I feel like San Francisco probably is the play, but I wouldn't mind taking a chance New Orleans over Dallas, though.
As we get closer to Sunday, will you do either a video or a quick YouTube short with your $1 million picks for the week and daily?
Yeah. Yeah, I do have a lineup right now. I don't know if I want to.
Do you want to do it now or you want to save it?
I can still save it because I'll probably tweak it and stuff.
Okay.
But I kind of went through it and stuff. So I'll break stuff down later on. Either you and I can, or I'll just do a quick short. If I can pull this up here. So I just did like a single entry. It's a single entry one. So I'm going. My stack is going to be with Miami. So I've got Tua at quarterback. Running back, I've got Bijan and Breece Hall. Breece Hall is going off this week. I think it's at, if you take on Bet365, Breece Hall 125 rushing yards or more, it's like at a plus 1025 or something.
Is it really just for that?
Yeah, he'll get that in like 3 carries. Like, they're playing Denver. So Hall Robinson, and I got Tyreek Hill. I've got Rashee Rice because I wanted a piece of that game, the Chiefs Viking game, and I took that Savas guy right now. So this is like, I got so many rookies in this one. Savas, I got Laporta at tight end, and I took Achane at my flex and the Jets defense. The only problem, I was listening to guys at Stochastic, and they've got all these tools that can, and they're pretty solid and they're pretty spot on, and they're projecting Achane to have like 30% ownership, which is enormous on on a main slate like this. So I might try to I have to see more on the Cincinnati side. I'm going to talk to my buddy who does like he's on the Hear That Podcast, Growling Bengals podcast down in Cincinnati and he works for the Athletic and he's got the Bengals. So is this guy going to be playing a lot? And then I think the play is, if you want that Miami game, I would pivot and probably start Mostert over Achane just for the leverage of less ownership.
Gotcha.
Because so that's just it. So I'll probably do another one because I don't know if this is going to be the lineup. But if I do one later on, do a short, or if it's something where if you're not eligible, I might just do a quick DFS, or we may both. If you have time, we could just do a quick DFS one.
Yeah, we can do that
tomorrow or something. So.
With all those rookies you have in there, I want to make sure the D stands for daily, not dynasty. You realize that, right?
Right.
It
just happened to be I just haven't looked. I got those rookies and stuff. So there's a couple things to play. Just ownership's the big one with that. It's a smaller slate too. It's a 10 gamer. Then normally they usually have like a 13 or 14. But the London game's not on it, and then you got the Sunday, Monday night games that aren't on it as well. So and then the bye week, so it's just a 10 game 10 games.
If you're
but I do
waiting
like
for an
Miami.
80s reference, I just said Dynasty, the soap opera with Joan Collins and Linda Evans, and my dad had an unhealthy crush on Linda Evans, but that's okay.
That's okay.
No restraining orders filed or anything like that. So, all right, that's it for Baseball Now. Thanks so much, Chad. Let's do another one. Yeah, we'll do a daily one. Follow him on the X. He is at Chad Ochocinco. I am at That Happens. Download the Fantasy Sports app for free on your Apple and Android devices. Chad, have a great night.
All right, man. You too.